Hey everyone, it's November 19th. I'm gonna post this after I'm done recording, so I don't have an excuse as to why I'm unaware fully of what's going on in Brazil. What I do know is that the population is protesting the election or their election results, saying that it was stolen. Their bank accounts, protesters or people supporting the protests, are getting shut down. It's similar to what happened with Canada, in my eyes, with the truckers and their bank accounts getting shut down, and you know, that's obviously taking away their civil liberties, you know, the right to protest, peaceful assembly and whatnot, freedom of speech. So that's my bias, obviously, and that's what I'm aware of. And so after I do this reading, I will look into it on my personal time. So I just wanted to kind of see what's going on here, what kind of information wants to come through, because I felt compelled to. I saw in a dream last night, and I feel like it's connected to today because I'm just really connected to the colors of Brazil. So I knew something was coming into my awareness about Brazil. I kept seeing yellows and greens and reds, and I just kept getting attracted to that. I'm actually even drinking this, which is the colors, you know, same colors too. And last night I had this dream of birds. It was like a green bird snuggling up to me, and like another different birds, but it was a green bird that really stood out to me. And I feel it connected here because it feels like a refreshing new energy, a positive energy, an uplifting energy. People are protected. It's like their energy is protected, and it kind of, not kind of, it does remind me of Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel coming through. So that's what I see for that. As far as the protesting goes, the way that they're showing me in my mind is it's split, right? So on one hand, here are the protesters. On the other hand, this is who they're protesting against. And what it looks like is my guardian angels are telling me to look out for this, which is somewhere in the upper left. So like of the map. So like let's say Brazil's here, down here, then go up and left, and there's an organization, a country, organization, group here that is going to involve themselves in this protest. They already have. But they're going to increase their efforts, and it's against the protesters. The way that I'm seeing it is like little dots. It's like individual attacks is what it feels like, individual attacks. And what these attacks feel like is implants. Like implanting people who are masking as protesters that are going to incite their own violence, miniature attacks, hoping that it's going to do two things: And either way, it doesn't matter to them because it's just part of the build-up. So either people are going to join in with them, this riot, like riots, or it's just going to tarnish their reputation anyway. So it doesn't really matter so much if people join in. It's the reputation that needs to be tarnished. So I'm seeing little bits and pieces there. And then there's also, feels like chemical attack. I don't know if that's really what's going on here. It could be like sound, right? Like sound frequencies attack. I think it's more in line with frequencies. I think it's frequency attack. It has some, it has to be something like that. Because the way that it comes through in my feeling is headaches, nausea, shaking, like it seems like the ground is shaking, but it's because my depth perception is messed up, so everything's getting like shaky. It feels like being on the cusp of dehydration, and not saying they're dehydrating people or people are dehydrated. I mean, they could be, but that's like the kind of like a feeling that this attack gives. And this is already happening, but they're increasing it. Boom, 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 different ways. Why they're doing this is because it weakens it. It weakens the core. You know, they look like a big group, right? So then it kind of weakens it to different smaller cores. And then the opposition is going to come in and incite violence or incite attack, shutdowns and attacks to shut them down, because they can't do it alone right now. They can't do it by themselves right now. Strictly with them, they won't be able to do that. So this other organization that's outside of Brazil is helping. They're doing it. Why are they helping? Is because they don't like them. They don't like the citizens of Brazil. Because they don't like what it's representing. They don't like what these citizens, they don't like that. They don't like what that's representing. It's like an uprising of the people, right? Like basically slaves in some ways, right? Like you have to keep them kind of like withdrawn, uncaring, unbothered, just kind of dealing with it. They don't actually want the protests, right? They don't like that. That makes everyone look bad. That makes slaves is such a like, it's not, I mean, it kind of is a poor choice of words because it makes it seem so not necessarily divisive, but like, I don't know, kind of like depressing, I guess, but it's not that like these whoever's like above and is trying to keep, like they look at the public, they look at the masses as slaves. isn't like that. I can't really generalize it as being such. But it's more of just, we want to keep them away from us. We want to keep them separate. Like, they work, they do their own thing. They are, you know, like, I mean, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, it's like they're in a gated community in their own little bubble, and everyone else is away from that, and they kind of have their own perception of everyone outside of their community. And the more that they let people in, the less they can it's like a distribution of wealth, a distribution of power. Then that means they have less, right? That means they have less, and they don't want to have less, so they want to keep you away, they want to keep you out. And so what this is representing is, I'm hearing the word disgusting. It's like disgusting. Like repulsed. The people who are involved in dismantling this are repulsed by this. Repulsed, disgusted, just no respect for these human lives. Maybe not all human lives, but these human lives. Kind of like viewing them as like animals because of the way that they're acting. Is like just get in line, just get it together. Like, they just want obedience. Because again, this is a threat to the way things are, to the establishment currently. It's a threat to the establishment. And that is a very uncomfortable position to be in, because that puts people who are in authoritative positions, they have to bear the responsibility of their actions, or like the consequences of their actions. Like, there's like things that would, there's like, it's mixed. There's like some people, it feels where they're threatened because they feel like information would be uncovered and they would have to bear the consequences of that, and that is just, it's irreparable, and that's just something that they will fight to the death for. So they have a personal vendetta when it comes to this, or a personal agenda. And then there's other people who, like I said, they just more so are comfortable in their position. They don't want commingling of other people, or like changes in the way establishment is. I asked if there's a bigger picture. There is, because the way that it showed me is like, okay, you know how I said this is one group, this is people assembling, this is the people they're against the government, and then there's, it's like split. The way they show me is like a current going like that, a current, and this current is it's like a powerful current, because it reminds me of a tide, the riptide, where it's just like churning, and it churns and churns and churns. And the center, this powerful current in the center is a country. There's another entity. There's another entity that is influencing. It's not as influential to Brazilian officials directly. It's more indirect. So it's like, here's this main country that I'm talking about, this powerful country, and this powerful country is associating its purpose is to world domination, probably. It's kind of how it feels. But and the country itself, it's not the people of the country, it's the people running this country, it's the people behind this country or this organization. It could be a country, it could be, I mean, it's people, it's like separate people in separate areas. So we're just gonna say it's an organization, this powerful organization. And so let's say that they're a representative in some country, okay? So their main purpose is to, yeah, maybe world domination, but let's just stick to Brazil. So like, we want to control Brazil. So what they do is they're like, okay, Brazil does a lot of commerce with this country, and this country is going to do a lot with this country, and this to that, which eventually roots back to us. So it's a conglomerate, but it's like, I'm gonna go here, then here, 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 to get to that. And then it's like the same thing. Here's other countries, and then it's like they're webbing, right? They're creating their web to get their hands into every single position. And so that's what's going on here, right? Now, this country that I talked about earlier that is helping Brazil currently, that's been like adding things into the protests currently, they are somehow rooted back to Brazil and rooted back to this conglomerate. So they are connected, but they're not it, right? Like it would be like, what's the word I can't think of? Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but like, does it start with a D? Goodness gracious, where it's like, they have citizenship in this country, and they have a little embassy there, but they're a representative of another country. It'd be like, kind of like, not really, but I mean, maybe, I'm not sure. Something like that. I think the end result's supposed to be really good, though, for the people of Brazil. That's what it feels like, because I'm asking, so what's the end result? And it brought me back to that little green bird. And like, just this feeling of happiness and of joy and of like hope, renewed hope. And I can see like yellow, like a yellow flag, like a waving of a flag. So maybe a yellow flag is significant here. Like maybe there's like a spiritual meaning to a yellow flag, or if that's a literal thing, but I'm just seeing yellow being waved, and it feels like it's going to end up in favor of the people, the Brazilian people. And it's going to leave this organizations or this conglomerate, it's going to leave them shaken. So it feels like it's going to leave them shaken, and it's going to break it down a little bit. Some people are going to get in trouble, it feels like. I don't know if this is behind this. I don't know. it kind of feels like people are gonna know this, like they are gonna get in legal trouble. And it feels like they can't get, like, they can't talk themselves out of it. They can't loophole their way out of it. But it's only like very few people that are kind of just collateral damage. Like, when it comes down to it, you know, they don't care, right? Like, the source of this doesn't care about who they use, as long as they are protected here. These people, again, they have their own ulterior motives, and they care for their selfish reasons. So then, but it leaves it fractured, right? To know that that actually happened, they're like, it's kind of this feeling of like, okay, well, we knew that might have happened, that's fine, but this is a little bit disturbing. This situation is leaving us disturbed, because it's a shift in perception. It's a shift in perception globally, because people are going to see that peaceful assembly, or like a powerful, the power of assembly, right? The power of our voices, the power of an uprising. Well, we're going to see that. And that's very threatening, because it says, oh, that's sending a signal to people, right? Energetically sending a signal to people like, oh, something actually can be done. Maybe it's not everything we're looking for, but we've been able to make movement. So then they're looking at it like, how do we restructure it so that we can repair the damage and like strengthen our fortress so that doesn't happen? How do we prevent this from worsening, right? They have to hit a glass ceiling. How do we get them to that glass ceiling? Yeah, we have to raise it a little bit, but how do we reinforce it so that when they do hit it, we know that they can't surpass that? What do we do here? And it's kind of like a threat against time too. They feel threatened against time. And if there's this feeling that I got where it felt like you're gonna see a lot more damage before it gets better. You're gonna see a lot more damage before it gets better, but then it does get better. You just have to keep pushing. You just have to keep persevering. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with being fear. You have to push through fear. And if you're afraid, do it afraid. Like, is your goal like more important? Like, what's more important, right? Than your fear? What's more important than your sensitivities? What's more important than all of that? And go fearlessly towards that, or fearfully go towards that. Go for it. If that's what you feel in your heart, it's the right thing to do. And the people who have their hearts in the right place, the people who are essentially doing what's right for the good of everyone, and then they're protected. I see them fiercely spiritually protected, and it will not go unnoticed. Their light will not go unnoticed. Their light will, it's sending some sort of spiritual signal beyond this realm, beyond this earth realm. There's like beings, it feels, or like high level beings that are seeing this light emanating from this. It's signaling something. Time, change, and a change towards truth, right? We're moving to an era more of truth, and it's signaling we're going into the right path, right place. That things are moving effectively and efficiently. That it's not hopeless. And that time, that change, the time for change, it's here. So that's what I see. I'll pull, because I'll pull these two cards. I have them here. Still set out from the other day. And we'll see what it says in here really quick. Yeah. Light beings, they're watching us. Soul writing and healing and alignment, and this is them watching us, us as in like humanity and that light, right, rising above, becoming more in line with the healed universe, the healed truth, the healed like authenticity coming from our human-driven ego is in alignment with our spirit, right? So that's what I'm saying, is being in alignment with who we are in our most transcended form. And they're watching this happen. Open your heart to love. Pay attention to your dreams and time management. I heard you hear what you need to hear, and from there you need to move. You need to go forward. So there's a message here for those that feel pulled toward this or motivated in whatever capacity, is when you feel it, follow through. And that's what I see for you guys. Alright, bye.